Hello, I'm Hannah Colley and I'm going to explain two common ideologies of feminism, the difference and sameness models, in the hope to one day reach equality. Feminism advocates for and seeks the advancement of women's rights. It is the view that both the male and female genders are not equal and equalities need to be addressed to attain equality between the two sexes. Feminists are torn between the two models of equality. These are the difference and the sameness models. However, underlying both these beliefs and the supporting arguments is the lack of equality. The two models seek to ensure that there is a level playing field for both sexes. Feminists all admit to the belief that society as it currently stands is not one where women enjoy equal rights and opportunities as men. The difference between the two models arises in their approach for attaining fairness for both men and women. Feminists, in their support of the sameness model, believe that focus is to be placed on the similarities that exist between men and women. The sameness model holds that women and men are generally the same, regardless of the physiological differences existing between them. It emphasizes that in terms of such aspects as their potential brain and mental functions, both sexes are the same. They emphasize these similarities, and because of them, society should treat women the same as they treat men. Those who subscribe to this school of thought assume that the talents and abilities that men and women share equally should have recognition and believe women should be able to have the same aspirations as men and have access to the same opportunities. A key shortcoming is in the assumption and emphasis on similarities between men and women. There is no doubt that both sexes are the same in numerous aspects, especially non-physical aspects. However, it remains a fact that men and women do have differences in terms of strength and weaknesses. For instance, it is a scientific fact that men are stronger than women when it comes to physical strength, and women are stronger and generally better when it comes to emotional measures. There is, of course, exceptions to this view. Feminists subscribing to the difference model of equality focus on the differences that exist between the male and female genders. They recognize the structure of the society is set up in a manner that treats men and women differently. For instance, there is a general sense of sexual bias in favor of men. A clear illustration of this is in a mother who is also a professional. She is likelier to face discrimination practices as compared to a father. Those who believe this model argue for the application of differential treatment of the sexes. I call this positive discrimination. This model addresses and appreciates that there are differences between men and women, and it holds that equality is attainable by implementing differential treatment of the sexes. This model advocates for women to be treated differently with a view to catering for their special needs. At lower levels of employment, there is a greater degree of equality between men and women. However, senior positions are predominantly filled with men. An illustration of this model is in the state of employment of law graduates. Women are fewer than men when it comes to top positions, despite the fact that they make up more than half of the law graduates. This is more evident in the context of partners in top law firms, the bar and the bench, where men dominate. Such a state of affairs has resulted in the invention of the phrase glass ceiling, which women have to break. The most common explanation given for the inequality is that women take time off to care for children. Feminists have an issue with why bringing up children should hinder women's progression at work and not men. The model advocates differential treatment to take into account this aspect, such as the same parental leave allocated to men. Studies also indicate that women spend significantly more time than men on unpaid domestic chores. These facts have to be considered if equality is to be attained. A key strength of the model is also in the emphasis of feminine values being seen of equal value of those values that society considers to be masculine. Critics of the model believe that it justifies the preferential treatment of women. However, this criticism is flawed in the sense that it fails to go further and acknowledge that preferential treatment is necessary considering the inequality against women that continues to prevail. A review of both these feminist views shows that superiority of the difference model arguments. The difference model results in the consideration and presentation of such remedial measures as an increase of paternity leave periods, Increasing the length of male paternity leave to the same time as women would likely discourage employees from discriminating against women. Additionally, the difference model justifies the employment of actions to address inequality. In conclusion, I strongly advocate for and believe in the differential model due to its practicality as opposed to idealism. This model is illustrative of how feminist legal theory can help advance equality.